know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
Hey there, Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns. Just want to comment and say BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for football, baseball, boxing, golf, and much more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Tight End. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn. JD, how we doing, brother? You were at the game yesterday, so you had firsthand look at what was going on at the stadium yesterday. So, JD, tell us what you saw out there, and obviously we're going to get our grades today, so we're going to get good solid grades because you saw everything yesterday.
I did. I got to see a whole lot. There was a whole lot happening out there yesterday. But it was a great game. It was a wonderful event. I came out here obviously to come see the Chargers and the Chiefs, but more importantly, one of my a friend, teammate, Dante Hall, one of the best returners in the business to ever do it, got inducted into the Chiefs Ring of Honor. And so there you go. Got him on. That's it. And so, we came out to go see and celebrate him, and it was amazing with just seeing his name up there on Arrowhead in the stadium with all the other greats. And so, honor well deserved for Dante, for his thing that he had done in his career. Had a wonderful speech. Just talked about the Hunt family. Talked about the players and the coaches around him, equipment people, everybody that was part of it, his mother and his family. So I just wanted to say that first, we can kind of get this thing started. But that was a wonderful occasion. And on top of that, we got the win. That was another thing. The Chiefs looked really, really excellent in the way they dismantled the Chargers. And so I knew this was going to be it. I was close to what the what the score was going to be. Yeah, I was close to it. I said we had 17. I think somebody put it on Twitter. I said, look, the second half, they're going to shut them down. I just knew that. And they did. That's what they ended up doing. And so it was just a well thought out game. Offensively looked wonderful. And almost kind of back to old self. And so those are the things, man, I was just kind of seeing out there. I'm going to give my grades a little bit. But, man, it was a wonderful day. Beautiful weather. I got to run into some people that kind of follow us, which is always a good time, to kind of run into fans and seeing people. So yeah, man, it was a beautiful day, man, in GHA Stadium or Old Arrowhead, baby. I was back home, loving it.
Yeah, it looked like a good time. So I saw the photos with you and the fellas, I think pregame. And then Dante, they didn't show his speech on the telecast, but I'm sure it was great. We've had Dante on. We know how Dante speaks. Dante's so eloquent. He's a great guy. So we've talked about the show on a long time. I mean, Dante, even people who weren't even Chiefs fans, people love Dante Hall. That was one of their favorite players of all time. So not only his impact on Kansas City, the NFL as a whole, but it's just nice that Kansas City recognized him and put him in the Ring of Honor, deservedly so.
Deservedly so. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. And so, just because of his contributions he had here, a lot of people appreciated that. I was almost looking for McCole Hardman to get one in honor of Dante Hall. And I think
we called that. Remember, we said if it happens, it's going to be a part of the game script. We were so close.
You're right. But, man, look, Mark, we called out a lot of different things that we was right on point about, right?
It did.
So we talked about MBS having a good game. And I said, look, anytime he's ready to come show up, welcome to the party, MBS. Welcome to the party. And so Not only that, but also to the excitement of getting McCole Hardman back in the building and what he was able to do. And so that in itself was an incredible thing to see with McCole Hardman coming out and giving his performance that he did. So it was a great welcome back with him. Charles Omenihu coming back as well.
Another thing you called him getting a sack, and that happened. Check.
A sack, another one. So we was naming a whole lot of things, man, that happened. So Nostradamus was at it again. He's at it again, baby.
I think you were the future. It reminded me of the future Biff Tannen in Back to the Future Part 2, and he had a sports almanac. I was like, did JD have the sports almanac calling the game yesterday?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. But I tell you what, man, it was it was a good game because it was kind of a back and forth. The very first half, and it was. We always know that it's always going to be a tough challenge with the Chargers. We understand that. And the thing is, you play them twice a year. It's a team that you're very familiar with. They know what you're going to do, the crafting to what you're going to do it with. And so we got that edge just in not just players, but also to coaches and scheme. And so you could see that it was really pronounced the second half with the adjustments and things that they made. There was some really brilliant calls by Nagy and Andy on the offensive side of the ball. It's things we were looking at, right? Things we were looking for, especially down in the red zone. Yeah. And I think they delivered. They absolutely delivered this week. Yeah. So it was beautiful just to see it in real time out there at the stadium, man. And that's what I miss. I miss, at the stadium, just all the screams, the atmosphere, the ambiance of it all. Man, it's just incredible. It's an incredible time.
Yeah. And that's one thing too, like, when we'll get into when you do the grades, but like first half offense, specifically the second quarter, offense was A++. Defense, not so much. I mean, there was a span with 4 touchdowns, like 7 minutes or whatever that stat was. But then second half, offense kind of the Blake Bell fumble, which I do not believe that was a fumble. It wasn't even a catch. After that drive, the offense kind of went down, sputtered a little bit because we probably would have scored there, put the nail in the coffin and on that drive. But anyway, offense kind of sputtered a little bit, but defense stepped up. And my logic, and this is what Tej and I talked about on the post-game show last night, as long as one half of the football is doing its thing in either half of the game, I think we'll be all right. Offense picked it up in the first half, defense not so much. Defense picked it up in the second half, offense not so much. So as long as one side of the ball is firing on either one of the halves, I think we'll be okay. And just wait till we get everything together for 4 quarters. Oof.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no doubt about it. And just figure it out. But I tell you what, this is why it's such a great game, because it's a team sport. You need everybody. You need all phases of the game working for you. Offense, defense, special teams. Special teams showed up. And so and that's the thing about it. I think our strengths, because we have so many weapons on both sides of the ball. Now we got the third one with McCole Hardman coming back. Just makes us more dangerous. We're a much more a well-versed killer team. We just got so much skill, so many skill guys, could do a whole lot of different things. And then not to mention just having the best coaches in all of football as well. So when I go and I see some of these sports shows and they start talking about all these other teams and what they have and they're not doing well and stuff like that. Yeah, the Chiefs are right there. Okay, we're the number one team, and no doubt in my mind, as far as like just pure talent and what we have, Super Bowl chance for a reason, and there's no reason why I don't think we should be able to repeat that. So I know they keep putting all these other teams up here and whatnot, and they say sometimes the refs are unfair to the Chiefs, or they're on our side, but in reality is we got weapons all over the place, a plethora of weapons. And so that's going to be hard for anybody to stop. Every given week, I don't care who it is that we play, we should always be the one that everybody else should be underdogs to us, pure and simple. So, so we'll see.
JD, you kind of made a point there. So talking about before we get into the grades, I just wanted to talk about this. This is something that, as we approach the trade deadline, I know we've been talking a lot about trades. We called McCole Hardman coming here 2 weeks ago. I mean, again, this is us calling this stuff. What's up, M. Burton 11? What's up, guys? First time chatting in here. What's up, buddy?
Good to hear you. Good to see you.
We talk about trades, and like I think, and we don't really usually see a lot of trades midseason for the Chiefs, anyways. We got McCole Hardman back, and obviously you said that having him back, this is one thing you called with MBS having a big game this week. you said McColl's going to come back, and that's going to be a signal to all the rest of the receivers in the room. Like, look, they're not satisfied with what's going on in the receiver room. They're bringing in guys who've been here before. So, like, everyone needs to step up their game. Now, with that being said, McCall Hardman obviously brought some juice on special teams. It's something that, and on the offense as well.
Right.
Do you think we're done with trades? Do you think what we have right now is what we got, and this will be it for the rest of the year? Or do you think there could be a move made, or you think you like what you have in the room right now?
No, look, I don't think we're a desperate team like a lot of other teams out here. I just don't see us as being that. And I knew offensively, we just needed that one piece, one guy in the wide receiver room, okay, who was just missing. And this just felt right with McCole Hardman coming back. We were just talking about it. There's somebody that gives you like the speed, the energy, the juice that you need for a young wide receiver core. I said, you had to get somebody in here, somebody that probably knows the system, okay, or somebody that we know. And I kept saying this for the past few weeks, because one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to, dismantle the type of confidence you have in the room that you're coming with, and even some of the strides that you take as minimal as you think that they are. Okay. The offense was getting better. The wide receivers were getting better. They still, and you learn these things through failure. You learn them through a lot of the adversity that we was going through. Some of the, the hard days and weeks that you had to deal with. These guys may not be getting it right, but without a doubt, and I see the Rico says Rice has established himself at this point. So Rashid Rice has came out and he has shown as a rookie that he is ready to play in this NFL and that he's a very capable receiver, And so having McCole Hardman come in, adding on to the room with what he has, just without a doubt, just brought everything up to a whole different level. It just increased it. And so we're just talking about trades in itself. I don't really see us going out trying to get anybody. Charles Omenihu, you had to look at it as almost being a trade, a guy who's just coming on the team, showing what he can do because of his versatility. I think we got everything that we need on defense. I think we have everything we need on defense, and we need everything we need on offense. Okay, we got a great running game. We got a great offensive line. We got the best tight end in the game. We got the best quarterback in the game. We got a very young wide receiver group with the addition of McCole Hardman. So when we're talking about trades and all of that, we're just not these other teams that need to go out desperately to try to find a guy. I just don't think we need to. We got that in McCole Hardman. And so I think we're finished as far as like doing trades. Maybe Veach may try to work something out, because he's one of those crafty guys that looks for deals, right? So, but just for my perspective, I really do believe that trade talks, coming here to the Chiefs, is a very small circle of guys that fits the culture, that knows what we're doing, done it before, and I think we're fine with that. I think we're satisfied.
I agree. If you look at our history, we don't make many midseason moves. Last year we did Tony. This year we did Hardman. I think that's it. Like, as far as trading for anything, Frank Clark, I think that's what's going to happen soon, based on everything you hear, all reports online. That'll probably happen soon. But like, as far as trades, yeah, I think we're set. And I think yesterday was a nice indication to see what McCole Hardman can bring to the room as far as raising the spirits of everybody and also kind of raising the competition level now, because now you got a guy who's been there and done that with Patrick Mahomes before coming back to the room, and everybody else like, okay, you're seeing another guy trying to fight for snaps and reps, so everyone's going to raise everyone's play now. So,
yeah. Well, look, I'll say this, okay, it might be a little controversial. McCole made sense to me, okay, because that was the biggest need on offense was another receiver, somebody that Patrick was comfortable with, somebody that he knew. Do I see maybe, and here's my thing. I've said this online. I think the Chiefs may be pump faking with Frank a little bit here. I don't know. He might just give you a little head fake to try to bring him back. We'll see if it happens. We'll see if it happens. The thing is, because it's all about when you bring a guy in, whose place is he taking? Whose reps? Who's going to replace, right? And so I know we got Felix right there, trying to get him, up to speed, just kind of talking to these guys. I seen Tamba yesterday, just talking about the work that he does with some of the guys, man. It was beautiful. They having that conversation as well.
That's awesome.
And here's the thing, though. Do we bring a Frank Clark back here to the Chiefs? that's something we just had to see. We'll have to find that out. Defensively has been playing a phenomenal season. They really have. Yesterday was a little struggle for them. Okay, we seen that as far as secondary wise, and we'll get into that because we'll talk about the grades and whatnot. But as far as getting after them, pass rush and whatnot, I think the guys are fine. Frank could definitely add on to that. No question about it. He could absolutely add on to that. So we have to see.
Like we always say, you never have enough pass rushers. Even Chris Jones hinted at that last week. And also, too, depending on how the severity of Nick Bolton's injury, we have plenty of linebackers that, put him on IR, maybe it's 4 games, and then it opens up a spot to bring Frank Clark back to have another rotational piece on the edge, if that is. I mean, we don't know what the severity is of the injury. They said the report is dislocated wrist, could miss some time, is what they're saying. So we don't know what the severity of it.
Yeah, that was definitely a blow for him going down. So yeah, hopefully everything comes out, and it's it's going to be a very short stint, him missing games. But here's the thing, though: if you do that, and you put a cast on or whatever you need to do to kind of solidify, he just be one of those guys with a big club, right?
I tweeted that from our account earlier. I said I want the club, I want the Patrick Willis club. That I mean,
right.
that's the badass look, especially nowadays
is.
in the soft 2023 football. You can put a guy the way Bolton plays. He's kind of an old school kind of guy. You put a club on him. Woo, that's just fun to watch, dude.
Yeah. The thing is, make it look like a gladiator. So yeah, that's. We'll see.
All right, JD. So now we're gonna get to the grades. We usually start on the offensive side of the ball. What position are we starting with for the Week 7 grade report with the professor Jason Dunn?
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with our guys again, okay? Because paying homage and also to tight end. It was Universal Tight End Day. Okay. In the NFL, we had to understand the tight ends were the ones that was able to get it off. Started out, Travis Kelce with his play and what he was able to do against his defense, man, he just sliced them up. So I'm giving our guys, tight ends, I'm giving them guys an A. Everybody showed up yesterday. I had to put my eyes on guys and see what they were doing out there. Doing a pretty good job in the blocking. Like you said, Blake Bell, I don't think it was a fumble either. I really did. I was kind of shocked because I'm just like, well, what's going on? What's the call? Was it, hold up? And then, when they called it, but Noah catching one, the Travis, man, we were sitting over here talking. I was talking to one of my good friends, Billy Baber, tight end. And we were just saying, man, how does a team just single up somebody on Travis at one point? He's going to do him in. Why would you do that? Are you really trying to lose the game? Is that what you're trying to do? And so you see the result of it, right? You see the result of, trying to have a guy, body up Travis. It ain't going to work. And so he comes out there, man, and he just absolutely demolishes the defense, demolishes the defender. And of course, we keep, had to bring in, Taylor Swift herself doing a little bump and all of that with Brittany Mahomes. Everybody having a good time up there in the box. So everybody loves seeing the performance. And my man, he was spot on. To me, the best performance in the league, without a doubt, this past week. So the Titans get an A. That's why I got the Titans at an A.
2 games in a row with over 100 yards receiving for Kelce in the first half.
Yeah, man, completely amazing. And like I said, if the team decides you want to single him up, to me, it just makes sense for Patrick to go to him, right? I mean, what's at that moment, you got the matchup that you want, okay? And I'll take that every day of the week, twice on Sunday. Yep. So Patrick thought about the same thing, no different. Right? Now, second group I'll go to. All right, I'm going to go to the wide receivers on this one. Now, we've talked about it. We talked about, this week, who we're going to be looking at. Who's the number one? Who's the guys that are showing up every single week? The past few weeks, we've been watching Rashid Rice come out there and get better every every week. And so this week was no different. Matter of fact, it seemed like we was trying to get the ball to him more because of what he has been doing the previous weeks, right? And so, you know what he did? He went out there and showed it, hey, he's the guy. He's the man. For me right now, Rashid Rice is our number one wide receiver. Bottom line. And I think because of his size, like seeing him out there on the field, seeing his size and what he's able to do, like the quickness and his speed, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's ready. He's ready. And so he showed that. He showed that yesterday. He showed that, man. Same thing with his burst, the touchdown, starting to find winners, starting to figure things out. And so I think that's the reason Pat was so welcoming and covenant to this guy. Was talking about him getting him here, right? That's the guy that he wanted. And so he got him. He got his weapon. And sure enough, we're all seeing what Patrick was seeing, during the off season, trying to get him here. Pat seen it back then. We're seeing the fruition of it now. And so he did a tremendous job. MVS, hands off to him. Congratulations, getting 3 catches, 1 for a touchdown. I told you, I said, look, MVS, when we did our bonus bets, I said, MVS is going to be the guy, man. He's going to get a touchdown this week. I said, he's going to have a big one. Sure enough, he shows up. So maybe it has something to do with JD being at the game. Maybe me coming to the game, man. This gave him a little bit of motivation because I was clapping for him the whole time I was sitting over watching him doing his thing. So congratulations to MVS, man, having a stellar game. That's his capability. Those are things that he can do. And so I'm glad Patrick was able to find him. And I said this. I said, probably offensively, they're going to try to at least emphasize trying to get him the ball, find out where he is. And they did that. They did that. So hats off to MVS doing what he did out there. Same thing with Sky Moore going out there, get a couple of catches. I'm glad, he got some touches on it. So the offensive, the wide receiver room looked pretty good. They really did. They looked really good. So I gave them a B plus. I gave them guys a B plus. That's what I gave them.
JD, so you were there, hot name that we've always talked about on the show, and fans has been wanting him to kind of get something. And finally, yesterday, he had a play that was dialed for him. Does that fade the back of the end zone to Justin Ross? I mean, he kind of got bumped. They call it an offensive PI. I don't think it was an offensive PI, but what did you make? And also, too, people were mad that he didn't get a reception or anything, but I think it has to say something where it's he's getting a play that's dialed up for him, and that's got to be progress. And that's, even though it's not a catch or something in the stat book, but we're seeing the offense trying to drop a play for him. And this is an offense that really doesn't drop plays for anybody specifically. And all of a sudden we're throwing up a fade for him in the back of the end zone. Didn't work out, obviously. But what did you make and what did you see from Justin Ross about that game?
Well, I'll tell you that was my whole point I was making the last show, was that you got to get him played out there in the regular field, as opposed to just being on the goal line. Because what ends up happening, a guy gets antsy, right? He gets, he does become a little bit more jittery, a little bit more nervous on doing things. He wants to do everything right because it is his play dialed up. And so sometimes what you do is you're so focused on catching the football, doing all the other things, that all the other stuff doesn't even matter, right? Your feet might be wrong, hands might be wrong. Yeah, you might push off, all those different things, because the play is drawn up for you. And so to get a guy acclimated, you have to put him in the game in the regular field. You got to get him some work out there in the midfield first before you go down to the red zone and throw just a fade ball. Okay, it sounds good. I get that part of it, but get him in the game. You got to get him. You got to get him warmed up for the game. Dante said something the other day, man. It was so profound. He said this in his speech. He said he thanked Al Saunders for getting him involved in the receiving game, because that helped him in the return game as well. He said, once I get out there and start catching footballs and running routes, he said, man, that just warmed me up and got me ready for, punt return and the kickoff return. Huh. And I was just like, wow, yeah, that's how it works. And so the same thing with Justin Ross. Justin Ross needs to get a little bit more playing time out there in the regular field. So if you want to throw the fade ball, which you should throw to him, right? Get him out there in the regular field as well. So he's just not a gimmick guy. I hate the gimmick guy doing this or bringing a guy in specifically for just this one play, right? There's other things he can do. He can help us out in the regular field, right? Midfield anytime between the 30-yard line, going back and forth, he can help us there. So Justin Ross is another weapon. Like I said, McCole Hardman coming back, we just needed a guy that Patrick could really ultimately trust. Okay, and everybody's going to build on from that. So he'll have his shots. He'll get his time. Everybody's got to be patient with this as well, right? Got to be patient with it as well. Yeah. So when you had a guy like McCole Hardman, who was definitely last year could have been our number 1 and number 2 easily in receptions, you got to get him back acclimated as well, what he's trying to do, right? So when you do that, somebody loses out as far as possessions and snaps.
Yep.
It's just how it works. I told you, man, the NFL is about performance. It's a performance business, pure and simple. Okay. So if guys are not performing, we give you shots and opportunities, and something doesn't happen, then, hey, man, it's limited. There's only one football goes around. That's it. Yep. So give it a shot.
Hardman matched his, that was funny. So in the total games he played with New York, he had 3 targets, 1 catch for 6 yards. Just yesterday alone, he had 3 targets, 1 catch for 6 yards. So he matched his season total in targets and receptions and yards yesterday.
Yeah. I see. Ed Moore says Rice needs 10+ targets a game to see what he can really do. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, you say that, but you got Travis Kelce, and then you got McCole Hardman, you got other guys out here. 10+ targets a game is in this offense. It's going to be tough to do. It's going to be tough to do.
Yep.
And I would say this: there's no need to just give him 10 targets a game. There's other guys out here who can play too. So,
yeah. I mean, I think yesterday we saw it was kind of a back and forth between Kelce, Rice. Kelce, Rice. I mean, he was literally going between those 2 guys for the majority of that game yesterday. Obviously, the other guys had some big plays, MVS, but I mean, it was Rice and Kelce, and you see where the trust lies, and it's between those 2 guys. Hey, and we've been talking all year who's going to step up outside of Kelce, and we've got it now. This is a couple of weeks of consistency with Rice now, so I think here we are.
Oh yeah, that's right. So the next group I go to, let's go to the offensive line. I tell you what, I love seeing the big guys get out there in space and just run. And in the screens, just getting up the field. The one they had to call back, the first touchdown that they should not call back. Thought that was a terrible play, terrible call. It's horrible. The whole block in the back by Thuney. I'm like, what do you want a guy to do? I mean, he's blocking the guy. He's giving his back. So either you don't block him, he turns around and makes a play, or when you're coming up on the guy and you engage, it's one of those things where you're in between. But that was a bad call. You should never called that. Should have never called that. So offensive line just getting out there and blocking. It definitely needed a little bit more in the running game. That I think they should have done. But it's a tough Chargers defensive line. We know that. We know these jokers come off the football. They're going to try hard. So I give my guys a B, actually, offensive line. I give them a B. I think they did a pretty decent job protecting Patrick, stopping, the brutal pass rush. And so, like I said, I love just watching them in space, man, the things that they were able to do, trying to get up to the second level. Very athletic guys, man, in person, just kind of seeing it. But I definitely give the offensive line a B. Give them a B.
Yeah, that's one of the highest paid defenses in the league. So,
oh, well, shoot, yeah. So if you got them and you shutting these guys down from getting all the sacks and whatnot, right? What they known for? Who was that? I think what's the name he had? What did he have the week before?
Oh, Khalil Mack.
Yeah, Khalil Mack had 4 or 5 sacks.
Like 4 or 5 sacks against his former team, the Raiders.
Yeah. So there was no way that was going to happen. No way it was going to happen against the Chiefs.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, I give the offensive line a B. Running backs. So Pacheco, 13 carries, 32 yards. Patrick was our second leader rusher with 29 with 4 carries. And he pick and choose his times to run. It was open. The times he took off, he should have taken off. And I think Patrick this past week, definitely one of his better games this year. Just with his patience that he took, taking what the defense was giving him. Some of the touch passes he was given, him able to see the field. I think he just seemed like he was in this uber focus, this whole vibe of just seeing it all yesterday. So Patrick, man, he was incredible. He was absolutely incredible. But the running backs, I gave the running backs, going back to them, I gave the running backs a B. Okay. Nothing that was, some of the holes just wasn't there. Pacheco was trying to find them. And he just kind of got bottled up a little bit here and there. But screen games, guys getting out there, getting up, in space, did a great job. McKinnon, same thing, which, man, like I said, that first one, it took back. Should have been a touchdown. But other than that, man, I think the guys did a pretty good job. I think they did a good job blocking, helping out, chipping. They're chipping. Okay, we say they don't chip or they shouldn't chip. Chipping a little bit. But, yeah, they did a pretty good job. So I gave these guys a B as well.
Yeah, I'm seeing some of the comments in here about CEH's usage yesterday. I thought overall, I mean, obviously, I think it was Pacheco's lowest yards per carry this season, 2.5 yards per carry. I mean, it wasn't a good game as far as being able to, but also too, we've talked about rhythm. And as far as rhythm, it seemed like the pattern yesterday was very inconsistent and weird. For a second there, I thought Pacheco was hurt because we were seeing a lot of CEH yesterday, and I'm like, where is Pacheco? What's going on here? And it just seemed very inconsistent and kind of unusual based on what we've been doing kind of the last few weeks. We were getting Pacheco early and going pretty early on in the game. Yesterday, only 12 carries. I mean, it just seemed weird. It seemed like the rhythm with running backs was kind of off yesterday, just the way they were kind of spelling them.
Well, I think sometimes when you see a guy kind of getting bottled up and stuff, then you want to switch it up, because you don't want to keep forcing it, right? And you keep running the same, head. So it's like, okay, let's try somebody else. Let's just see what he can do in this. And that's how it goes. Like you said, the rhythm of the game. Well, Pacheco's not having a good game. Let's see what CH can do. Let's see what Jared McKinnon can do. And so that's how offenses usually look at it, right? Try to get a guy going. If some guy's not having a good day, then this might be CH's week. But I know they say, see, just the guy, CH needs to stop playing. I don't believe that. CH is a good player. I forgot, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and him coming out of LSU, thought he was a good player coming out of LSU. We know he's got some ability to him. He may be another, fit somewhere else. Absolutely, he could be.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't know, man. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. And so I was talking about Patrick Mahomes before. I'll go back to him again. This week I give Patrick a B+. Give him a B+. All right. Like I said, methodical, masterful, patient game that he took it in and just seeing it and taking the time to actually dissect the defense. And he did a wonderful job. And just watching him sit back there, and you could see offensive line first gave him time to throw, gave him a lot of time. I was like, dang, God, he's got a ton of time to throw. But also, too, you could see the open receivers, and he was hitting them. I'm seeing the whole field. I could see the open receivers are okay. And sure enough, he was finding them. So Pat got a B+. Definitely could have been an A. Interception, if you want to call it, all those. But you know what, man? He did a great job. He did a great job. So was going to give Patrick an A. And I think he's right there on the A, man. A, you're almost right there, Pat. Almost on an A. But I think, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get Pat an A.
Yeah.
Get him A, man.
I agree with that.
He played an A game. I said B+ because I got a high standard for him. I do.
I know.
And I say this because he's the best quarterback in the NFL. The grade I'm going to give him is based off of him being the best, okay? And I could care less about all these other quarterbacks out here, what they're out here doing. Look, Patrick Mahomes, he is the product. He is the face of the NFL right now, period, point blank, okay, quarterback-wise. And so I'm always looking for him to keep challenging from where he was, what he's done in the past, his history of seeing something that's like consistent, being able to, just absolutely just slice up defenses. That's how I always base his play on. But he played well yesterday. He did. So he does get an A on that. I do. Switch my grade, Marcus, from a B+ to an A.
Now look at you. Look at you. Not that hard. You're not that harsh for a grader.
No.
That's a part of JD. It's almost winter break. Yeah, I'm coming to you. You know, I want to raise my C to a B. Come on, teach. What do I have to do? What do I have to do to get to raise it a few percentage points?
I got you. You good. You got the A. All right. Well done. Extra credit. So yeah. Pat definitely gets that. So now let's go to the defensive side of the football. All right. So yesterday was kind of a rough day for our defense. You know, a few guys that kind of talked about last week. I'll just say it. Justin Reed, from having such a masterful game last week, just all over the field, doing all the right things, doing an incredible job. He struggled a little bit yesterday. There's a couple of things, just kind of looking at the scheme, like missed some tackles, kind of out of place a few times. But I'm gonna give these guys a C-. Okay, give these guys a C-. They were, at times, it looked like they was just overmatched. There was bad leverage on some of the receivers. They kind of made it look easy. Palmer came out there, man. He was torching guys.
Yeah.
Missed tackles. And so to me, I'm just like, man, what is going on? It just seemed like some guys are just a step behind, step late. It just wasn't in their hip pocket like I would expect them to be. Especially at the high level they had been playing this whole year, right? So that's what I'm basing it on. I'm basing off of that, but also too what I see out there. So I gave these guys a C-. They've definitely had better games. Allen's going to be who he is. You know, he's going to catch his balls and, of course, first downs. But Palmer should have been able to get off like the way he was able to get off. Not at all. And so, like I said, some of the missed tackles, but also too getting the interceptions toward the end brought that grade up. And so, if you can't get an interception off a tip ball, it looked like that ball took forever to come back down. I'm like, it looked like a daggone punt return.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like. Then I was like, that other got grade down to about a D. But the guys, first half, it just seemed they had to figure everything out. They came out second half, did a much better job. And maybe Spags had a talk to him like, look, man, we got to get in this leverage. We got to get in their tail a little bit more. I mean, he's some big receivers. You know what I mean? That's the thing about it. When you sit there and you look at these long jokers run up and down the field, you can tell why it's difficult. You know what I mean? That's a challenge. So, you ain't looking at Diggs or him guys out there. He's sucking 6'3", 6'4", long-legged, and everything as advertised. So, and then Everett got into the touchdown too. Same thing, bad leverage on the tight end. I knew they was going to try to get the ball to him as well. So that's why I gave our DBs. I gave them a C-, just because the first half will look really just a step behind on things.
Yeah, no,
right?
I agree. I think first half was rough for the secondary, but second half, the adjustments they made. I mean, if you look at, we had 5 sacks. I think 4 of them came in the second half. A lot of those sacks were coverage sacks. There was nowhere to go with the ball. I was seeing some of the all-22 view. Herbert really had nowhere to go with that ball. I mean, kudos to the secondary to step up after a rough first half of that game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And like I said, it was that adjustment. Like I said, Spags had to go say something, because I mean, seriously, I was just scratching my head first half like, dang, like how they miss that? And you could see it. You could just tell, their positioning. They were just kind of out of place. Some of the runs out of place, missing tackles. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like you should never have a long run for a touchdown as a running back.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. It's just somebody should be back there making that tackle. And I hate seeing it. Man. I was just like, okay, it ain't gonna be one of those days. Please don't let it be one of them days, right? So yeah. So I'm gonna go to my linebackers. My linebackers, I think they did a pretty decent job. Treckle goes to get some sack, look really good hitting the gap, man, getting back there. Willie Gay getting a sack as well. So I'm actually going to give these guys, I'm going to give them a B. Give these guys a B. And so as well as they look on certain plays, there was other plays out of position, kind of missing tackles. Should have been their gaps in certain things. But second half, they put it all together. And so I think they did a really good job. Leo Chanel, all those guys, man, did a decent job. Bolton, like I said, that's going to be one of those things, man. We're going to miss him for a little bit, but he'll be back. But yeah, they B for what they did. Heck, Billy Gay almost got. I was watching him when he came back on Herbert, and I thought he was going to miss him then. I was like, oh man, don't miss, because he almost got to the outside of it.
Yeah,
right. Almost got to the outside of it, and so I was just like, ooh, that was close, Willie. It was close, And so, but they did a good job. Linebackers did a really good job. So I would say out of all phases of secondary linebackers, D-line, I would say that they had their phase was probably the most consistent. What I see, just kind of get out there making plays, doing some breakups and stuff like that, and just diagnosing things. So yeah, so I give them guys a B.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, D-line. So D-line, man, I'm gonna give a C plus to the D-line.
Wow,
okay?
All right.
I was expecting more, a little bit more, okay? But it was too many lanes that was open, too many holes I thought should have been cut down. Pushing inside that probably we should have been able to anchor a little bit more than what we did. I ain't gonna name them names. I don't want to do that. But it got to do a much better job at that point of attack. Much better job of point of attack, especially we know a team is going to be able to run the football, right? And so, who was that one kid? Kelly? Is that Kelly and
Josh Kelly?
Yeah.
They stifled Eckler though. Eckler didn't do anything. I'm curious to see how many where that ranks for his overall rushing totals in all-time games.
Right. But Kelly came in and made him look like a daggone all-pro. I'm like, who's this kid? Maybe I need to pick him up on fantasy. I'm like, shoot, I'm starting looking on fantasy. Like, okay. So, but, as far as getting after the quarterback, second half, Herbert bringing pressure, they did a pretty decent job on doing that. So, like I said, I gave these guys, man, a C plus.
What are your thoughts on Charles in charge?
Oh, Charles, man, as advertised. I said, man, is that 90? I said, there he goes. So, I tell you what, you could see his size and his length. He was getting some good push out there on the field. There's a difference there on the D-line. There's a difference there just with his presence. You could tell that. You could really tell it. And so he's a great addition for us, man. He's a great addition for the D-line, just for the entire defense in itself. Yeah. So we're going to be a very, very sound defensive football team. Best in the league, no doubt. And so that's why I say I don't know if we need to go out and get another guy or trades or whoever it is. Like you said, look, pass rushers is pass rusher. But I like the guys that we got for sure. Frank can definitely add on to it. But bringing Charles in, you can see why we got him in free agency. He brought a little bit of that fire, that juice. He did. So hats off for him, man. Hats off for him. Special teams wise. So I give the special teams, I gave them a B plus. B plus for special teams. Okay. I was almost gonna give my A, but I'm just B plus. Okay. And McCole Hardman coming back, being a return guy, and I was so happy to hear it. Because every time he comes in, returning McCole Hardman, I'm like, yes. That's exactly who we needed. That's exactly who we deserve. We knew he was going to be able to come out there and make plays, and he did it. And it almost like it's almost like, you remember somebody that was so good for you. You don't even understand like what happened to the breakup and all this. Like, well, how did all this turn bad at one point when we didn't have him?
Yeah.
And so him yesterday showing everything he can do. lights out. That's exactly what we needed. We needed McCole Harmon back, and so that's the type of fire he brings back here to the Chiefs. The excitement, because he could make guys miss. He's a hell of a return guy. And I couldn't think of anybody else better suited. Remember what we was doing all in camp, trying to find guys to return the football? Remember we tried everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think they even tried Chris Jones back there. Well, they wanted to.
They put Justin Ross back there, and and you and I were like, wait, what?
Yeah, maybe we need to bring Chris back and tell him let him be a return guy so we can sign him. But no, man. But McCole Harmon, without a doubt, that's his position. That's where we need him. We need him, without a doubt, returning the football. Okay, because he is that guy. He is that guy. He's got the speed. He's got the quickness, elusiveness. He can make a big play. And almost like the same thing during my day, we had Dante Hall on returns. McCole Harmon can make returns as well. We know that something can happen when you call on his name in the return game. And so that's what you look for. You look for a home run hitter. He's a home run hitter with the football in his hands as a return guy. But I gave the offensive man a B+. So,
yeah. But it gives you more versatility in the wide receiver room just to have a guy who can be a receiver as well as be your kick returner and punt returner. And Montreal Washington was a solid fill-in for us because we were a disaster at punt return before we signed Montreal Washington. But and he was solid. But as far as getting receiver room reps, he wasn't. And now is what's taking a roster spot from the rest of the team. It's like, okay, but now you got a guy who can fulfill the receiver role as well as being your kick return and punt return role, and that's huge.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, it's another roster spot, and he's not as good as McCole Harmon.
Yeah.
McCall is an established guy. I couldn't understand why he wasn't really getting no reps up there with the Jets, to be honest. So
makes no sense.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's something we need to find out sometime soon, while that was and what was being said to him more so than anything else.
Yeah, he said some cryptic stuff about what kind of stuff went on with that. He doesn't. I mean, he's made some tweets about it. I can only surmise what he's talking about as far as what he was told about his role up there or what happened. But I don't know. But I will say he was smart because when he went, I remember this past offseason when he was in New York, they asked him the same question they asked Sammy Watkins when he was in Green Bay: who's better, Mahomes or Rodgers? And then Watkins, the Randall Cobb, put a gun to his head, and he said Aaron Rodgers. They asked, there was an NFL Network. They asked McCole, and he said there's different. You can't really compare the two. He said, I'll take Aaron's got a faster release than Patrick, but they're two of the best ever. So he gave a very response of a guy who didn't know what his future might hold if he would end up back in Kansas City. So hey, he's back.
Man, yeah, you got to do the most balanced, diplomatic thing you can possibly can in the answer, right? Yeah. So you don't want to, land blast the guy that you're going to be catching footballs from, and sure enough, you don't want to burn the bridges with the guy that you trust and who's the best in the game. Yeah. All right, and give him his flowers too, right? So
yeah, I mean. NFL, JD, you know better than I would. I mean, it's kind of like running for office because you don't know where you're going to end up there. So you want to be right down the middle. You don't want to piss off anybody, but you don't want to. Sometimes you don't want. It's better not to commit to an answer.
Got to be. It's got to be that way. You got to be that way, man. You have to, right? Because as soon as you don't, somebody's going to be in their feelings, going to get hurt, and it gets back. And don't ever believe that organizations don't listen and hear all these different things, because they do. Okay, they got media people as well, and they're catching everything that's being said out there. Yeah. Right? They pay these guys good money to catch what guys say. So NFL's always watching,
always lurking, always lurking. But all right, guys, we hope you enjoyed our grade show. We love the engagement in the comments from all you guys, and also last night on our post game show as well. JD and I will be back for our regular show Wednesday at 1:00, where JD now will preview the last of the Chiefs and Broncos matchups for this season. Thankfully, we don't have to do any more Broncos games after this, but preview that game. And we hope everyone stops by and engages with us again on Wednesday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, Broncos looked pretty decent yesterday.
They did, but is that Packers? I mean,
No, we'll see. It's gonna be a good matchup, man. Maybe they're now we finally got one to get going. So we got to make sure. Okay. Same thing I said last time. When we walk in the stadium, I don't care if it's here or wherever else, we need to put our foot on their neck immediately. The Broncos. Okay. Yeah. Don't give them a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
None.
And we cut it very close last time. They stopped our offense a good amount of times in red zone. So hopefully we can right the wrongs this time against Denver.
Oh yeah. Appreciate, man, all the fans I seen yesterday, man, just kind of running up and talking to at the game. It was a great time. It really was, taking pictures, meeting everybody. So good time, really good time. All right.
Yeah,
appreciate y'all fellas. Come checking us out. Y'all keep doing that. Come see us. Come follow us. Come visit. I always love having you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, Chief Concerns, you can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere else you get your podcasts. And of course, we'll see you guys 1 o'clock on Wednesday right here. So we'll see you guys soon.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.